Bob Quinn explains why Darrell Bevell is a good fit for the Detroit Lions and what he expects out of him. We back Motor City Sports Talk. I supposed to got this video at least a day or two ago, but we get into it now. Let's talk about what he said in the Sirius XM satellite radio conversation he had regarding the Bob Quinn hiring Darrell Bevell. Okay, let's get into it. Give me 1 second. He said, Quinn praised Bevell's background and schematic flexibility. He came in and had a great interview with our staff, myself, and coach. Quinn told Sirius XM, really, he's a guy that brings a lot of packages. He really does a good job of taking the personnel he has, whether it's the season or that week, and tailoring it to what we're going to do, taking the vision of the head coach and tailoring it to the offense, to the skills set of our players. That's something that he really attracted us to him. Quinn continued, he's been in a couple different offenses, really threw the ball around in Green Bay in his career. Kind of had a run-based attack in Minnesota and Seattle, but he can do some West Coast stuff. He can do some ground and pound. It's also going to be a little bit of a mixture of everything, and that's what really led us to Darrell Bevell, or Darrell in the end. So pretty much what they're pretty much expecting. Excuse me. What they're expecting from Bevell is, everything. They expecting to, the ground and pound. They're expecting the West Coast. They're expecting anything in between. So pretty much another vague, bland reaction from Bob Quinn. He tried to mix it up and sound exciting, but vague. He didn't hint on one way or another way. And what's so funny, it's pretty much like the Lions organization is ran like a secret service. No matter who's in here, it may be Matt Millen, or it may have been Mayhew Lewine, or Bob Quinn. It's just they're so secretive about what they're doing here, and they have a bad rapport with the media, the old media. It's a bad rapport with them, and they tell some Adam Schefter, they'll leak it to ESPN, they'll leak it to Fox before they leak it to their own media, and that's one of the reasons the media don't like the Lions. You know what I'm saying? They shit on them every chance they get. Is that once again, they tell other things to the to media outside of Detroit before they tell it to Detroit, and they mad because the Detroit media tells it how it is because the Lions are sorry and they don't promote the Lions' lack of success and try to put a positive spin on it. But once again, it's another vague, bland response. It's not the answer that you want to know. He absolutely hinted at nothing that Darrell Bevell was going to do. They just said what he could do. Oh, he could do some West Coast. He could do some ground and pound. He did this in Seattle, did this in Minnesota, did this in Green Bay. He's not telling us nothing that we don't know. Okay? He's not going to tell you that, we want to make Matthew Stafford a game manager. He had a great interview. Obviously, he must have had a great interview. We already know that if he got the job. That's common sense. You know what I'm saying? It's common sense. Oh, we can look up. We know he threw it around in Green Bay. We knew they did ground and pound in Seattle, and he threw it around in Minnesota when they got Brett Favre, but then they ground and pound with Gus Frerotte and Tavares Jackson. Yeah, we know that. And once again, that's just Bob Quinn. Like, the Secret Service shit ain't work for the Lions. But he goes on to say, we're really all excited to have Matthew Stafford back, Quinn said. He really goes under the radar. When we're not winning, he doesn't get much credit. But when he does, he doesn't get enough credit. Either he's in a tough spot because he's really talented. We need to do a better job of putting him in a position to succeed. Okay? For one, when has Matthew Stafford won to get credit? What has he won? We don't care about no little petty regular season wins. What has he won? Has he won a playoff game? Has he won 2? Has he won a divisional round? Have he won a wild card round? Has he won the NFC championship game? Has he been to the Super? No. So how does he not get credit for winning? Because he hasn't won. So you don't get credit for not winning. You don't get credit for not winning. So stop trying to sell us on Matthew Stafford, because the more you sell us, the more you lead me to believe that you don't even like the guy. Because we all can see 10 years. We had a 10-year sample of Matthew Stafford. And we still talking about potential. We still talking about offensive linemen. We still talking about receivers. We still talking about running the ball. We still talking about he need a defense. He need everything. This dude is an infant. The Detroit Lions organization, it's no hole that he can cover up. He hasn't covered up one hole here. None. He hasn't covered up one hole. So you're talking about he don't get credit for winning. We're not going to credit him for winning the regular season. He only beat 2 or 3 winning teams that have been to the playoffs. So, of course, he's not going to get credit because he don't win. Of course, he's going to take blame for losing for 10 straight years. You lost. I'm just starting to believe that they don't believe in Matthew Stafford. He said, I think he goes on, one of the biggest things we saw was we were able to put him in different positions, not just line him up outside. He's talking about Kenny Golladay. We were able to move him around the formation, put him inside, put him in motion, utilize some of his matchup. Really starting in week 4 or 5, number 1 corners or the other team started following him. We saw that as coaches and myself that we can't leave him in one spot because it's going to make it really easy for defense. We kind of moved him around a little bit and really picked him up mentally really quickly. He really picked up mentally really quickly, excuse me. He showed us some things as a route runner on the inside, breaking routes, lining up in the slot that really took his game to the next level. One area the Lions will look to improve this offseason is at tight end. Quinn said he's been encouraged by what he's seen from the position in the upcoming draft. He goes on to say this. Yeah, that's a position we're looking at, Quinn said. We have a couple of guys that are free agents coming up, so we have to make those decisions, make decisions on those guys. And this is a great class from what we've seen so far in the draft. So that's something we're going to be looking at really close. So I'll do another video talking about the tight end position. I'll do that right after this. I promise you guys, man. As soon as you see this video drop, about 5 or 7 minutes after this, or 10 minutes at the most, you'll see that video drop. All I'm saying about this, and Kenny Golladay is an exceptional athlete. I'm glad they're moving around. So is versatility, excuse me. And his new route running ability that he worked on in the offseason. Good for him. Okay? But really, at the end of the day, it's basically them hiding their hand on what Darrell Bevell going to do. And I'm going to tell you, now, if the Lions come out and they come out in a ball control, run-heavy offense, that tells me that my conspiracy is right, that they don't believe in Stafford like that, and they bigging up Stafford just because they stuck with him, okay? Now, if they come out and they throw the ball around and they run it, they kind of balance that. I think they really do believe in Stafford. They just needed really to put better personnel around him. And if they don't put better personnel around him, there's going to be insanity because it's going to be the same result after the same result. So really, it's basically a wait and see, man. And with training camp, you're not going to be able to know. You know, it's always inklings about what's going on in training camp. We get the regular season, then it's something totally different. So, like I said before, I just know that they liked him as a fit. Now people are saying Patricia's on the hot seat. No, he's been on the hot seat. He was forced. Well, however it goes, he's either forced or he chose to keep Jim Bob Cooter. That don't grant him an extra year. He on the hot seat after the year he had last year. So, as Darrell Bevell, do I like the fit? Yes, I like what he done with Russell Wilson. I like what he done with Brett Favre. I like what he done with Tavares Jackson and Gus Frerotte. He must treat Matthew Stafford like Tavares Jackson and Gus Frerotte. He must run to Kerryon Johnson, whatever running back they bring to run with him. They must utilize him. They must utilize him like Adrian Peterson. They got to run a lot and then let Matthew Stafford play off the run. That's the thing I like about it. A lot of running. He knows how to run the ball. Jim Bob Cooter didn't. Run the ball. Let Kerryon be the star. Let Matthew Stafford take a back seat. Let Stafford be a secondary star. Let Kerryon or whatever running back they choose to run with him be the star. You're going to need a tight end in this offense because play action is huge with tight ends. You get matchups. You get safeties. You get linebackers. You get corners on tight ends. So it's imperative that they find the right tight end. Very, very imperative. Because the middle of the field, he know how to utilize that. Darrell Bevell. So, you got what you want. You got an experienced play caller. You got a play caller that likes to ground and pound, and he knows how to deal with game managing quarterbacks. He dealt with Russell Wilson his first year. He dealt with Gus Frerotte. He dealt with Tavares Jackson. Basically, he dealt with equal or lesser quarterbacks to Matthew Stafford. So, he knows how to get through. If he can't get through Matthew Stafford, then it's just Matthew Stafford is just not a professional starting quarterback in the NFL. But I'll come back with that tight end video. Motor City Sports Talk. I appreciate everybody for checking in. Don't forget, we on Facebook, Twitter. Also, you can reach out to the email. Also on Instagram as well. If you got a question, you can DM me on social media or whatever situation may be. Also, don't forget to check out my other channel, Goodfellas Sports TV as well. You won't be mad. You check that out. You want to make a donation to the channel? That link's in the description. Share the videos. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, bell icon button. More C Sports Talk. Your boy CJ Goodfella. We go.